On to you, Gemini. So you have the Ace of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. So for you, Geminis, there's a lot of you Geminis have been talking to get to know others. Okay. I'll say this: there's a lot of unfair movement from others coming to you, and what I mean by that is a lot of people don't necessarily approve of how it is that you go about handling your business, go about living your life. The reason why it is I'm saying that is because the Ace of Pentacles and the Six of Wands. Ace of Pentacles is you, Six of Wands is you. Enough confidence for you, Geminis, to actually move forward away from somebody who's trying to treat you like trash and who would treat you like trash. There's a sense of having to move forward. There's a sense of, if a person mistreats you, you will move forward and you have the confidence to actually do that instead of staying stuck in the struggle of, because that's struggle of, The Ace of Wands represents other people that you're in the struggle of with that you got out of, or the potential for the struggle of that you started to see the problem with early that you got out of. They don't approve. But it doesn't really matter if they approve or not, because who are they in the first place? They're not even someone that actually, has any kind of importance in that regard like that too much, because you don't have a long history with them. So them disapproving and stuff, it's like, who cares? And plus, those are the same people that are disrespecting you anyway. So it's like, so now the Page of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles is about how you, Aquarius, are looking for a person that's hardworking, a person that's dedicated to you. And the problem is that even though you're looking for that, right? You're looking for a person that's dedicated to you, right? You still need a little bit more work when it comes to paying attention to see if a person would be good for you or not. You still need a little bit more work on that, because you're still pulling from the opposite polarity of Sagittarius, where you can be easily kind of duped when it comes to being in a relationship with somebody that acts like, because sometimes people who are not very good will act like they're decent, upright people, just so that they could move the goalposts and switch up later. So you as Geminis, you still have to kind of train that eye of yours, or those eyes of yours, to still kind of notice, right? Even when somebody would pose to be decent, to actually see through their facade to see if they're actually decent or not. And the Seven of Pentacles represents that's going to require a little bit more experience. You're going to have to, like I said, you're going to have to ask them questions. You're going to want to know a little bit more about them, right? And if it just seems like they're coming from dusty, backgrounds and stuff like this, you may want to just be on high alert, because trust me, Gemini, when I tell you from personal experience, you don't necessarily want to blame a person always for their past if they say that they have reformed, but you definitely want to watch them, because these people can make it seem like they have reformed themselves and then still have the same character, in a sense of they're still a swindler. They're still, you try to be with them and they're still freezing you out, stonewalling you, ignoring you, not. It's like, what is all that about? What is all this? So you went from being a card cracker and doing all this and doing all that to talking about how you've changed, to now doing what? To now all of a sudden you trying to ignore the person that you in a relationship with. What is all this? What is all that? Freezing them out and they're not doing anything and they're not doing much, and you ignore, like, what is all that? And that's how goofy a lot of people can be, and double-minded, and delusional and out of their mind that they could be, right? So now the Three of Swords, right? So now the Three of Swords is all about how, so when you see those types of signs, leave that person alone. However, you have the Eight of Cups and the Five of Cups. When you leave them alone, that's when it is that you will see sometime later, or maybe even immediately, their dysfunction that you were too close to them to see sometimes. Because sometimes that's how it is that it works. It'll work where when you're around them, it's too difficult to see a little bit. It's too difficult to see how dysfunctional they would be because you're right next to them, and therefore you're making up excuses because you can't necessarily tell either way, because it's like, yeah, they used to be this way, but at the same time, it's not to say that people can't actually change for the better, but then you're seeing all this goofy stuff at the same time. So you're trying to give them a shot. You're trying to give them a chance. And the thing is that they're doing this. So the Eight of Cups and the Five of Cups, when you see that type of dynamic, don't be afraid to leave. And that ultimately they can act like whatever and say whatever. But the Five of Cups is about, at the end of the day, they're going to regret you leaving. And they're going to feel like an idiot because now it's, well, it's that shame because, it's that shame. But the Four of Swords and the Eight of Swords represents, but if you're doing it correctly, you may hear a little something from them, or you may not hear from them at all, because the shame is too great. The embarrassment is too great, because it's that sense of when they were hanging out with you, they had their shot, they had their chance, and they blew their chance trying to play this narrative and this sitcom Housewives of Atlanta and House Husbands of Atlanta and all this goofy, sitcom, TV, scripted, goofy type of nonsense. And people trying to actually pattern their life behind TV shows. That's why it is that I say that everybody in the world watches anime. Everybody in the world watches cartoons. Everybody watches anime. You can't tell me that. Because that's what the hair dyeing is about, the hair coloring and all this other type of stuff. You color in your hair because you watched anime. You've seen anime one too many times and you loved it. And I'm not saying that anime is a terrible thing. I'm saying that you love the anime so much to the point where you got the idea from the anime. Because there's no way you're going to tell me that you're going to want to color your hair pink, color your hair blue, color your hair green. There's nobody on earth walking around with pink hair naturally, green hair naturally, okay, blue hair naturally. That type of stuff doesn't happen. But it goes to show you how, it goes to show you how we all listen to, or we all have similar ways of doing things, or we all have similar cultures in the sense that we all watch cartoons, we all watch anime, we all watch television to a certain extent, right? Some more than others. And it also goes to show you that, some people take it too far in the sense that they try to literally be this type of stuff to the point where it's dysfunctional and it's ruining their lives. Now, what does this have to do with you Geminis? Well, this reading is a cautionary tale in essence about how it is that it's really a reminder of you Geminis are the ones that have the power, and that it's not about what it is that people try, quote unquote, to do to you. It's really about you Geminis giving people a chance, giving them a shot. They're the ones that's actually qualifying for you, just as you are qualifying for them. And that if you Geminis can turn that mind frame around here and in here, you'll be better off for it, because you don't have to think from a perspective of someone is giving you a chance, right? You are coming from a perspective of a winner's chance. You're coming from a perspective of, remember, you are also giving a person a chance as well. and that if the two of you do not agree, you have just as much power, right? Things aren't being done to you. Not everything is being done to you. You can always choose to examine your own power, And that's one of the things that I learned when I was hanging out and engaged to that Libra myself is, in essence, a lot of the stuff that the Libra would do, the Libra would essentially try to run circles around me, because the Libra would try to make it seem like I'm not doing anything, I'm lazy, I'm a bum, all this other stuff. And this is a few weeks, a few months after not doing too much. But I'm thinking about, this is 2011. No, this is like 2012. Thinking about what it is that I want to do, stuff like that. Thinking about what I want to do. This is like the fall of 2012, going into, and everything that the Libra would do to try to essentially run circles around me, it would fail. In other words, right? It would literally like buying a used car, trying to buy a used car, trying to hurry up to be rich and all this other type of stuff, not even knowing what it is that the person was doing. And then the car would break down on her. You know what I mean? The car would essentially break down on her, and I'm like, and so that's my point. But then when I started to be like, you know what? I'm not rocking with any of y'all, because all y'all isolate and y'all want to leave and play all these games, stuff like this. Then when I started to be more of myself, right? And I'm like, you know what? I'm a lone wolf. I'm going to do what works for me. Then those same people started to kind of reach out for me, because I also had a lot of so-called friends that would switch up too. They would essentially now start to come back or whatnot. And I'm like, I don't rock with y'all like that. I wouldn't talk to them. And the desperation would show up even more. They would try to contact me even more, right? Even though it wouldn't work. So that's what it is that I'm trying to say. Like, at the end of the day, Gemini, you have to understand that no matter how it is that people try to make it seem and spiritually, break you and beat you down spiritually, of course, metaphor, spiritually speaking. We can build on that off camera, but you're giving them a shot. And you Geminis have to always remember that. If you can honestly remember that here and here, you'll always win. As long as you have other tangibles and other things about your character that make you a winner. When somebody wants to play that game of you're not doing enough, you're not this, you're not squat, because I guarantee you that same Libra that I was hanging out with, that I was engaged to, I guarantee you she's probably not doing well right now, because the mentality was all off. Didn't want to struggle, didn't want to go through a process with me where I was 2012 thinking about starting up a tarot reading business. I was doing tarot readings off camera, off YouTube since 2012. And I took it seriously 2013, but I didn't really get my start up until 2015, after doing tarot readings for people. So that's my point, though. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video. Well, wait, we forgot to actually clarify some cards. I'm sorry. Let's clarify the Eight of Swords. It's funny how it is that people who play games have to feel like they gotta beat down and trash other individuals or whatnot, instead of raising them up and instead of telling them, hey, listen, instead of encouraging them, instead of raising them up, and instead of telling them, hey, listen, I want you to do this. I think you would be great at this. I want you to try this out. Give this a chance for the both of us. Give this a chance for me. Even more so, give this a chance even for yourself. See if it works. Try it out. Actually give it a try. They just lazy, and or if they're not lazy, they lazy, but they want to appear to make it seem like they hustling. They got all this hustling, they got all this, that, and the third, but they're cutting corners. So to clarify the Eight of Swords, you have the Six of Swords, the Justice, yeah, Chariot, and the Emperor. Yeah, at the end of the day, you have to understand that you're giving them a chance. And anybody that betrays you and wants to switch up, they're really doing themselves a disservice. Says the Justice, says the Six of Swords, says the Chariot, says the Emperor. They're doing you a service because you don't have to be, to clarify the Eight of Swords, you don't have to be their spiritually their punching bag where they try to disrespect you and do all this stuff. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Peace.